Welcome everyone to another episode of Around the Block Talk. Today we have with us Mr. Snehanjan Chatterjee. He is the co-founder and CEO at Zeron. He would like to speak upon the cybersecurity in the space of blockchain. And very happy to have you here with us today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Prateek, and thank you to the entire Ideas team for inviting me for this talk. Uh, for everyone, I'm Snehanjan Chatterjee. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Zeron, which is a cybersecurity posture management solution built by our TEAMCOGNITO. So, give a brief about myself. I have been in this field since my college days. I briefly worked as an educator in Microsoft Imagine Academy in cybersecurity and other developments as well. Post that, I worked in a cybersecurity knowledge sharing and research council in an operations role. And then we met. I had previously in with Sanket, and I have other two co-founders, it's Swarnali and Santosh. And we both decided to build a company based on cybersecurity. So where we formed Zeron. And through Zeron, we have been working in various sectors. And one of the important sectors, because of the recent revolutions in Web3 and blockchain, has been blockchain for us, where we are securing various blockchain environments and working with crypto exchange companies, more notably managed or regulated crypto exchange companies, to provide a better thing in cybersecurity through those points. And that's where I would like to talk right now. Where are the attacks happening? Because whenever there is a new technology happening, there are new threats opening up. And although blockchain has been termed as a cybersecurity enabler in lots of cases through smart contracts and other different stuff, blockchain is seen as a cybersecurity enabler, but there are certain inherent risks, cyber risks in blockchain itself, which needs to be adhered to if you want to build a more sustainable and scalable solutions with respect to blockchain. And that's where we are presenting. So I'll be presenting a short presentation. Just let me share my screen. So cybersecurity and blockchain. So what we were talking about, as new technologies are evolving, so the cyber threats are opening up. So before that, I would like to give a brief about Zeron, what we are doing. What we are aiming to do is create a difference in cybersecurity with the power of AI. We are adhering to a lot of technologies in a lot of sectors, including health tech, ed tech, OTT manufacturing, and recently crypto. Crypto is a major area where we are focusing our solutions on. Now, my focus area here today would be what are the various attack tactics which are in blockchain. As I said earlier, blockchain, though it is termed as an enabler, has some inherent attacking tactics which may result in a lot of issues when it is used in solutions, and especially in solutions regarding finances, regarding a lot of different things which is related to very critical kind of data. Now, very basic three attack tactics that are present here are the 51% attacks, the cryptojacking, and the flash loan attacks. Right. So, what are these things? First, 51% attacks. Now, 51% attacks are when the majority of the networks conspires against a minority of the participants. What happens is certain attackers take control of a majority part. Recently, it has also been seen that these kind of attacks can be carried out in also 34% of the infrastructures when accessed by a group of individuals, the attackers. Then it can create issues within the whole networks. Now, these issues are not very common in things like Ethereum, because it is difficult to get 51% control of the infrastructure. But in private networks, in the smaller companies, in startups, where if they use some private networks, then it creates a big issue at this current stage. If certain group of individuals get access to 51% or even 34% of the infrastructure. So this is something I will get into the solutions a bit later. So this is something which companies need to work upon. As we have seen Ethereum Classic, Verge Currency, and Horizon have already faced this kind of issues in the recent past, and this issue will continue in the future unless people are not careful enough. The second is cryptojacking. Now, what is cryptojacking? Cryptojacking is when computers are hijacked for their computational power to mine cryptocurrencies. What happens is there are the various infrastructures which are used for minings. If those endpoints in blockchain, every endpoint is actually open, can be opened up to hackers. And if hackers get access to those endpoints, then mining becomes a huge issue. Not only is a lot of power being the power consumptions and all the other things are being increased, but there are financial implications which can be go to the millions of dollars when hackers get access to those particular endpoints and of the mining systems. So that is basically what cryptojacking is, hijacking those particular computational power of mine cryptocurrencies. And again, there is the flash loan attacks. Now, flash loan attacks happen generally in smart contracts, which are designed for uncollateralized loans. So what happens is there are tokens which gets manipulated and certain amount of money are siphoned out of those contracts, uh, which is termed as flash loan attacks. Now, it was termed like a few months back that flash loan attacks are not very common now, but in the recent, it has been seen that flash loan attacks have increased a lot because of the even due to the proliferation of the smart contracts, the flash loan attacks have increased. So this is something that people need to be a bit more careful about. Now, for us as a company, it is important when we are working with another company which is into blockchain. The core, the basics of the security remains very same. That is, first is ensuring strong identity and authentication, the securing the core of the network, blockchain network, and securing the blockchain communications. These three basics are the pillars of securing a blockchain network. In terms of cybersecurity, if we say, cybersecurity boils down to three different things from our perspective. That is attack, defense, and compliance. Now, attacks, as I discussed, there are attacks varies from sector to sector. Their namings conventions may be different, but they boil down to the same kind of things which can be drawn parallel to physical kind of attacks. Like cryptojacking is basically hijacking or kidnapping. So it all boils down to some physical traits of human nature, and securing them also boils down to human nature. Authentications, get your door locked or your endpoints locked properly or endpoints authenticated properly. Even in this meet, we may or may not have certain proper authentications. And that is a very basics of cybersecurity, because at the end of the day, the human element is the single weakest link in any system. Even in blockchain, the human element becomes the single weakest link, and that's where attacks generally get generated, the vulnerabilities gets opened up. And securing the core blockchain technology. Now, while building the blockchain technology, if the core is vulnerable, then any kind of processes may be an issue. So the code needs to be a solid, only then it can be scalable to a better and more secured environment, right? And securing your blockchain communications. If we are communicating through any kind of networks, it can be a private network where a certain kind of hacker kind of elements are present, then you can't hope to get your network secured. So if you have to the core of the network, then the network communication points needs to be, there needs to be certain security elements, security tools in present, security processes present, and security configurations present, uh, to, and we can't ignore them. Ignoring security in blockchain not only undermines that a particular node security, but can be undermining the security of the entire network because of the very inherent nature of blockchain. As it is an enabler as well, but its inherent nature becomes a single vulnerability can make the whole of the network vulnerable. So what we are doing? Well, in Zeron, we are doing the ABCD of security. That is attack, defense, compliance, and cyber intelligence dashboard. Now, what we are doing is attacking. Is when you see these attacks, when you are building your network with Zeron, you can simulate the attacks and look where the vulnerabilities lie. So you are making your network very much tested and attack proof. Defense intelligence is basically when you are, when certain incidences happen in a blockchain, an incident can expand very quickly from a node to node. So defense intelligence basically, when you see a anomaly that is happening, or you can see an attack in progress, you can track it and capture it immediately and stop that. So that is basically defense intelligence and compliance. Now, blockchain is mostly unregulated right now, but regulations are coming. Even in India and in various other countries, regulations in various even in various crypto exchanges, regulations are coming, and they will be coming. Now, maintaining those regulations in terms of cybersecurity and maintaining those compliances would be a very hectic affair for any kind of companies, because these are very new. This will be very new. So with Zeron, what we are trying to give is a mix of technical compliances and process level compliances through various dashboards, so that maintaining these compliances becomes easier for various companies in their network. And if the compliances are breached, certain alerts are generated so that they can patch it up. Because as it is a new, there will be fines in relation to it. And even in the recent past, we have seen crypto companies paying fines, and these fines can go to millions of dollars. And but more important than that, once if regulations are breached, what happens is people's trust gets uh, attacked. People's trust gets lowered. And when a new tech, even in blockchain, when there are lots of things happening, you can't let people's trust get lowered. Reputation takes like a lot of time to build, but even a single incident can hamper that reputation. So it is important to maintain those regulations and everything. The cyber intelligence dashboard, what we provide is a monetary aspect of your cyber investments. You are doing a lot of things in your blockchain, but what is the monetary value, especially in a sector where finances are involved? So what we do is give a value to your data, and In terms of security, in terms of the attacks saved, in terms of various defensive measures, we provide you a revenue fallout mapping or business fallout mapping, where you can actually see what is the amount you have saved by implementing those security measures. So the companies can actually find out what is uh, their ROI of their security. This is where we are taking this company. As you can see, you can through the Zeron various dashboards, you can check what are the security events, what are the tactics being used, the previous tactics that are shown in the blockchain. And it is very important for the crypto exchange companies. Even we are working, we are doing a lot of POCs with a number of crypto exchange companies, regulated and unregulated. And it is because it is an area which is a hotspot for the hackers. Hackers attack the network more often. So it is very important to keep a check on what are the various threat evolution that is happening. The threat is continuously evolving, and where are the top attacks hotspots that are happening. Also, integrity monitoring helps in things like the 51% attack, where you can check what is if the integrity of a endpoint is collapsed or not. So that is very important in kind of a blockchain network. Intrusion detection. Well, in case of cryptojacking, you can see that you can people hijack a certain mining infrastructure. So this is where intrusion detection helps you to keep a tab on if whether your infrastructure is hijacked or not, and give you an anomaly score based on that. Also, incident response. If an incident has occurred, there are alerts generated, priority-based alerts generated, and you can get to that incident in a fastest possible manner. So this is how we are helping in the process. And a network analysis. If an attack has occurred, you can trace to the point from where the attacks are happening globally, and you can take measures accordingly. It will give you a clue regarding the identity of the attackers. Also, it will give you a clue regarding the methods followed using historical data and various other factors. Now, we have been working in the sector for a while, and we have won some really great accolades here. We recently won the Unicorn Battle Business Angels Best Choice. Also, we won the we were the second runner-up in Global Cyber Peace Challenge. We also certified by SNLTR in West Bengal. We were the first runner-up in Worldwide SECOM Unseen Challenge, where we literally showed that Zeron provides a peace of mind. We were also listed as top 500 deep tech startups worldwide by Slingshot Singapore, among other accolades. So for Zeron, basically, where security matters. Now, security matters everywhere. If you are building any business in blockchain or using any kind of technology, it can be a basic technology, but as blockchain is a hot topic, Web 3.0 is everywhere right now, and it is going to be everywhere. It's going to be the biggest boom in the industry. So security becomes even more important for this. And for Zeron, it is our mission to completely secure the Web 3.0 and blockchain, other crypto exchange platforms, and so that when the common people are using these things, their money is involved, their data is involved, and the reputation of these companies are involved. And these things should not be uh, compromised, so that people can have peace of mind, and they can focus on the business. So that's what I meant to say. If you have any questions, I would like to answer those.
Sure, and definitely thank you, Jin, for that very informative talk on your product and how you're solving this problem. So in the very beginning, you mentioned like three kinds of attack. So, particularly referring to the flash loan attacks. So, how does that actually happen? Why does it happen? Is it because of a weakness in the smart contracts? Is it not properly? How does that happen?
It's sometimes it's a weakness in the smart contracts, but most of the time it's how the things happen between between when the contracts are made. It's basically boils down to the human point, as I say. It boils down to the human intervention. So blockchain's biggest issue is the human point, the data extraction point of view. So that's where the problem happens, and the vulnerabilities are opened up at that point of time. And when the smart contracts are carried forward, then the money is funneled out, and it has recently, even I was reading it in last month only, is some in a smart contract there was like 1.2 million dollars of losses because of this. So it's a big issue right now.
So it's because probably the conditions were not completely thought out, and
Exactly.
so the code was not prepared to handle all situations.
Exactly. That is where the issues happen.
Right. So the smart contract itself, those are not vulnerable at this point. It's just the conditions that they're putting it.
Technology, more or less, because we have all the teams have very sound technical people. They build technology which is very secure. But as I said, human beings are the biggest weak links in terms of inner cybersecurity. So when the data extraction happens, that's where the vulnerabilities are opened up.
Right. So from what I can understand, so probably instead of just technologists, some other kind of skill set are also required to ensure
Actually,
the
a lot of
yeah.
common senses are required when you are doing certain things. Uh, One of my co-founders always says that before you become a hacker, think like a hacker. Even people who are working, they have to think what the hackers are thinking, and they become gullible most of the time. The tactics are not something out of the world. The hacking tactics are not out of the world. They are not changing hacking tactics on the basis of technology. Hacking tactics remain the same. They try to hack the human beings rather than the technology, more often than not, because that is the easy part.
Right, understood. So the services and the platform that you provide at Xeron, so that is implementable on all kinds of blockchains. And does it work with every? Yeah.
Yes, it can. It is implementable in anything which which has a log. Anything which has a log.
So more than just blockchain, all kind of DLTs and it
Yes,
works.
yes. We are already testing out in a lot of points. We are testing out in a lot of crypto exchanges as well. I can't name those crypto exchanges right now because we are in a POC stage. But our focus is right now. A big focus of the company is right now on the blockchain area, because this is a single biggest point, and every node of a blockchain is important to be secured, and that cannot be secured by uh, like classic cybersecurity tools. It has to be intelligent, it has to be inclusive, and it has to be catering to the the modern threat modeling as well. So that is
Right,
our focus area. Yeah.
right. So these security measures, are they required more by public blockchains or also private blockchains and consortium blockchains? That is also a use case for you.
Private blockchains are more gullible inherently as a technology standpoint. But as I said, public blockchain, what happens is public blockchain, what happens, it's not viable. Suppose I am giving an example of 51% attack. It is not feasible for a group of hackers to get a 51% access of that blockchain. It's not feasible. It's cost prohibitive. And but what happens is public blockchain, it can certain things, like it can create a nuisance in the blockchain itself. And a nuisance in a public blockchain will attack may not be attacking the whole network, but may not be a huge number of individuals, and it can create a negative impact on the reputation of the public blockchain. Right? It can create a big, huge reputation loss. So that is where it is important to implement those, so that the reputation losses are saved, even if the monetary losses may not be that big compared to the whole volume.
Right. So, in case of private blockchains, what kind of attacks do you see happening, and what are the security measures required?
Yeah, in the private blockchain, these 51%, the 34% attacks are very common. Now it is easy to get access to that amount of network in this. So what has to happen is securing each and every point, each and every node through certain, it can be through our device or through other configuration devices, basically checking on those configurations and have certain security measures on each end, so that getting access to that point, at least 34% of the nodes, is not easy, or is almost 99% not possible to make it. It is very important to do that. Otherwise, if people get access to 34%, then almost whole of the network is compromised.
Right, right, indeed. So, what is the scope of your services today, and how much of a market do you see for actually selling your services?
Well, cybersecurity market as a whole is over $300 billion industry, and it is growing exponentially. And as the blockchain, we are mostly focusing right now in India and US right now, but Web3 is opening up doors in various other places. It's opening up doors in Bangladesh, even in the Middle East and places like that. The boom is real. The NFTs, the boom is real, and the more the number of nodes, the more the market is opening up for us in terms of this. But it's a huge. It's like I think 18.7 CAGR. It's a massive market to cater to.
Right, indeed, with new projects, new blockchains coming up, almost every day. So the demand accordingly grows. So, what kind of competitor landscape do you have for your services?
We have mostly in India. We can say that there is hardly any competitor in this project, in the cybersecurity posture management solution. There are a couple of companies that are working in the cybersecurity posture management space in US, and they are doing well. But there is no company which is right now attack, defense, and compliance mapped in the what we say the ABCD, the attack, the business fallout mapping, the defense intelligence, and the compliance, the ABCDs of cybersecurity map, and catering that towards in a unique way towards the crypto industry. So I guess that's where we have a added advantage, and we have also started the crypto exchange companies are also recognizing that, and I wish the more companies would look into it.
Right, certainly. So, also in terms of the regulations from the government, what kind of regulations do you see are there today, particularly for India? And do you face some legal challenges while operating, or is it sorted out for you?
As far as India is concerned, the cybersecurity laws are pretty weak right now. And even in blockchain, they are in the form of regulating. So Indian regulations are going to take a bit of time. But once they are implemented, they are going to be an issue. Globally, there are regulations. There are regulations in Malaysia, Myanmar, there are all Indonesia. And but the beauty of our product is even when there are cybersecurity regulations comes in for blockchain, it hardly gets a day to map it to our existing platform and get those regulation track with our technicalities. So when new regulations come in, because it's an evolving sector, so new regulations will come in, and regulations will be altered quite frequently, at least at the starting, at least at the beginning of it. So it is important to have a mechanism in place so that you can track the regulation easily, which we have worked very hard over the last 1.5 years to make those tracking mechanisms in place, so that when a new regulations come in and new forms are come in, we can easily map it out, and the companies can track their cybersecurity posture in terms of those compliance issues that are present.
Right, indeed. And also, what kind of audience, customers are you targeting? So you mentioned India and US. for now? And moving on, what is your roadmap of the potential customers you see coming?
Our customers, as I said, are in the sectors of cryptocurrency, crypto exchanges, fintech, and various other health tech, even the health exchange, the health data, crypto companies, the other manufacturing companies. Those are the various customers, and we target mostly we talk mostly with the CISOs of those companies to in this matter.
Right. So, I believe there are like two layers to it. So, firstly, the companies can adopt blockchain if they're not adopting to enhance their cybersecurity. And then the second one is to actually secure the blockchain network. So, are you also working on the first step of it? Are you pitching this to companies to adopt blockchain for their cybersecurity?
We focus mostly on securing the blockchain. We don't focus because lots of companies are focusing on adoption of blockchain for enabling cybersecurity. That is not our focus area. We are mainly focusing on the core of the security in the blockchain of when a company adopts such a thing.
Right. And so do you see a shift happening over here? A lot of companies, are they willing to adapt blockchain for
Yes,
their
yes,
security purpose?
definitely. Even in a lot of sectors, I can see even a lot of our clients who have not adapted blockchain, they are exploring the ability, exploring the possibility of adapting blockchains in their existing platforms, and they are consulting with us because what will be the perspective? Because most of our cases, they are very security focused, and it's very important when you are shifting to the business, shifting, adopting a new technology, it is secured so that your customers are not affected.
Right. And so indeed, blockchain today, they have a very high value of transactions taking place and sometimes critical information that is being communicated. So it is indeed a very critical component to get your security right. So, although you have given us an overview, but I'm sure there's a lot under the hood. So, how difficult of a task it is to actually make sure your blockchain is secure.
It is, I would say, it is very easy and very difficult at the same time. Easy part is a tech part. Easy part is the implementation of the technologies part. Difficult part is sensitizing the people, getting into the heads of the people. What are the various security, posture security principles that now need to be followed? That is the biggest difficult part because even a person who is security focused makes mistakes because it's a human nature to err, and that is where the problem, the carefulness and everything. So that's where the difficult part comes in. Tech part is the easy part, and we are very adapt to do implementing those things.
Right. So you probably need a very good understanding of blockchain and and how you're going to implement it. So the security has to be there in the planning stage itself,
Exactly, exactly,
rather than the later one.
exactly.
So do you see a lot of professionals today who are able to do this? And do you see a need of professionals with this with skills and competency?
There is a huge need of professionals, but right now there is a dearth of professionals which are security focused. So a more lot of trainings and more certain coming up professions is very important because at the current stage there is definitely a dearth of professionals in this sector.
Right. So, what kind of professionals, because our students are also,
Yes,
our audience. So, what kind of professionals are required today to make sure uh, this happens?
I think especially if you say cybersecurity and blockchain, a lot of students are studying about blockchains, and that's very important. But I see when a student studies, they are very hyped up about modern technologies without covering the basis of what a secure configurations are, what a security in a node is. So I would suggest get those basics clear first. If you have your basics clear and then you are scaling up, then you are building something, you would be able to figure out stuff better rather than not having the basic knowledge and going about building those things and have some basics of security. Everyone, even if you are not, even if your prime focus is not cybersecurity, but still everyone should have a basic understanding of cybersecurity while doing their job. Even if your job is not a tech job, if it's a marketing job, then also you need to have some cybersecurity knowledge, uh, so that, because even from that point of view the vulnerabilities open up. So sensitizing about cybersecurity is very important, and that is where even everyone, even the students who are cybersecurity students, can help in sensitizing their co-workers and everyone.
Right, indeed. And so, also we are seeing a very rapid adoption of blockchain and Web3 today, and it is projected by 2025 this is going to reach a certain amount of mass adoption. So, what do you think is the future of these technologies, and how do you see the industry evolving?
Uh, I have talked to a number of people regarding this. Certain people still don't believe in blockchain. Certain people are very enthusiastic about blockchain, and the division is very stark. What I personally believe is blockchain is here to stay. Definitely is here to stay, and it can open up it can open up sectors which it is very difficult to predict at this point of time. Like 5 years, it was very difficult to predict NFTs few years back, and it would be difficult to predict certain new avenues which will open up because of the inherent nature of this technology. So it is here to stay. I would say, in my opinion, it is here to stay, and it is here to grow at a same or even a bigger pace if possible. And of course, then it would give bigger challenges. Even the existing challenges will continue, and new challenges would be coming up, not only in base of technology but in terms of security of the blockchain as well.
Right, indeed. And what do you think is the opportunity for a country like India, with a large population, also a
Yes,
very large pool of talent?
I think
What are the possibilities for
I
us?
think in a situation like this, India comes up as one of the biggest players because of the population, as I say. So here it is where a new kind of, not only in terms of the technology, not only in terms of the products, but also in terms of the economy. A huge economic boom, huge investment policies. Even when we see our markets being affected by US, blockchain is something where we can be the bigger uh, influencers globally because of our participants, the number of participants, and the number of investors. We can be a huge influence down the line, maybe 5 to 10 years. We can be a huge influence in the blockchain industry.
Sure. Thank you, Snehanjan, for your answer. So I'll also let the audience ask the speaker if they have questions.
Hi, Snehanjan.
Hello.
Hi. So truly, it was very insightful to know so much more about cybersecurity, of which we had very superficial knowledge. It does. Your presentation was also very in depth and insightful. My only question would be: have you seen or have you been experiencing with any company that one company before using a cybersecurity, the number of hackers or attacks, and after they installed or collaborated with you guys, what is the reduction? Is it 100% reduction in your hackers and attacking processes, or is it come down to say 90%? How does that happen?
Well, if I say I am protecting 100%, then I would be the biggest liar. No company in the world can claim that they are giving you 100% protection, right? So what we have achieved is, while using, because of the inherent nature of our product, where we give insight on what is the security score and everything. Normally, our customers, the security score at the point of joining is around the 40 to 50%, 50% mark, and it goes up to 80 to 90% mark, which is an acceptable score. Where after implementing our recommendations and everything.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Snehanjan. I think with that, we can close the talk. And thank you very much for your time and for your presentation.
Thank you very much.